our memorandum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Co-Chair and members of the National Dialogue Committee. We did present a written memorandum to the committee, and we are here to elaborate on some of the points which we think.
Maybe, Commissioner, have you shared the same with the Secretariat? Secretariat, maybe you can avail copies to members. We don't seem to have it in our files. Are you making copies, Imogen? Yes. Okay, then you can continue. They will share as you.
Thank you. So our presentation will cover certain areas. One, the role of the chairperson of Iebc in the resort path, particularly the area of tallying and declaration of the resorts. We will also cover the areas of corporate governance within Iebc and areas where we think there are certain conflicts within Iebc, either between the commissioners and the secretariat, the commission and the secretariat. We will also be looking at some recommendations of what we think needs to be done. So I will start by saying that the process of tallying and declaration of presidential resorts is shared between the commission and the chairperson. The role of declaring is purely the responsibility and the mandate of the chairperson of Iebc. The tallying and the tabulation of the results is the role of the commissioners. And here, when I talk about the commission, I'll be talking about the commissioners. The secretariat is separate. So, in our last election, or before the last election, 2022 general election, there was a decision that was determined by the Court of Appeal in a case that was taken by Maina Kiai and Iebc, where it was very clearly stated by the Court of Appeal that the role of the chairman is to declare results that have been tallied by the commissioners. So that was done before the 2017 election. However, as we came to 2022 elections, sorry to say that the chairman of the commission did not follow that decision of the Court of Appeal. And you can, it is available in the 2017 case, Iebc versus Maina Kiai and others. The chairperson, acting unilaterally with the assistance of some tallying clerk members of staff of Iebc, which he had picked himself, acted in violation of the Constitution and in the violation of the law. Let's look at the areas of governance of the Iebc. Under Article 249, the Commission is independent, and the objective of its independence are to protect the sovereignty of the people of Kenya and secure and the state organs to observe the Constitution. There are persistent grievances and issues in the commission relating to the scope of the responsibility of the commissioners, the secretariat, and the accountability of the secretariat to the commission. Iebc Act, Section 11A, stipulates that the role of the secretariat is to run the day-to-day run, is to manage the day-to-day running of Iebc. However, the commission is a full-time commission where the commissioners run the business of the commission in conjunction with the secretariat. The commission interacts directly and essentially controls all aspects of management, including planning, execution, human resource governance, and the supervision of the staff. So the commission and the secretariat, you find that there's that responsibility of the commission and the secretariat that are tend to work in conflict to one another. So if you look at our history as a country, we have had conflict at the commission between the secretariat and the commissioners. We have in case in 2013 of Hassan and Oswago. In 2017, we had the case of Wafula Chebukati and Ezra Shiromba that played in the... Seriously, we have had a litany of conflicts at Iebc between the commission and the secretariat. We also had cases of conflict between Wafula Chebukati and the three other commissioners, Wafula Chebukati and Akombe, and finally, Wafula Chebukati and the four commissioners. There must be something that is not right, either about the person who was holding the office or the structure, or both. And that, to me, is something that I would plead with this committee to deal with, because all the years we have had commissioners being taken away or moving out of the commission, they are chased away, but no investigation have been carried to determine what is the cause of this. Probably you are the privileged committee to address that issue for the sake of our future as a country. And I would plead that you look at which areas are conflicting. We'll give our proposals, but mainly we'll be looking at you to look at that. I also want to look at the removal of the four commissioners, generally known as the Shelela Four. I want to submit that the Shelela Four were forced to resign. It was never our intention to resign. And therefore, we would want to ask that the reason why the Shelela Four were removed from the office is because they questioned the process that the chairman used to declare the results. And my colleague will be coming to that in a short while. Our dissent to the way the chairman handled the tallying of the results in 2022 election was within our mandate, because it is for the commission to tally and for him to declare. Unfortunately, the commission was not offered an opportunity to do that. We never tallied the results from the constituencies, and they were tallied by a hand-picked number of people who worked with the chairman. Two, we want to submit to this committee that there is a prescribed format for declaring a member of parliament, a governor, a woman rep, all elected positions. And there is a statutory form that should be filled to show the result of that particular person. For our case, we as the commissioners, it is for the presidential result, they are supposed to fill Form 34C, which is a summary of all the results from all the constituencies in the country. That is the result form. We ought to submit that that was never submitted to us. What we got from the CEO from the CEO then to the chairman and the commissioners is a three or 4 page summary of all the counties, the 47 counties. So as we sit, we have never seen Form 34C, which is the presidential resort form. And that is the reason why we say it was unfair for us to be forced out of the commission, and we hope that that will be looked into. Now, our recommendation, as we move to our recommendation, one, we hope that sooner than later, the Iebc Commission is going to be reconstituted as quickly as possible. There are several issues, including boundary delimitation, which is a very urgent issue. We are hoping that as soon as possible, the Commission is going to be reconstituted. Now, number 2, the Commission, acting as a technical full-time commission, is essentially not only non-strategic, it is also policy-oriented. It must have elaborate rules for the commissions, responsibility of the commissioners, a framework to organize the commission in such a way that the commissioners are responsible for the directorate they head. What we have currently is a situation whereby the CEO of the commission is running the commission. However, the commissioners head certain committees. And I'll give you an example. When I was at the commission, I was the chairman of Finance and Supply Chain Committee. However, in the law, the work of the supply chain, the person who is answerable is the CEO. According to the Public Finance Management Act, he is the same person responsible for the finances of the commission. What is the role of a chairman of a committee like that one in Iebc, even if you are a commissioner? Literally nothing. And that is what we find. And these are the legal issues which you think the structure of the commission needs to be addressed. And unfortunately enough, the Supreme Court did address itself and said that there needs to be the corporate governance within the commission need to be addressed. What we are proposing is that, one, we would like to request or to consider that we use the Ghanaian model of the commission, whereby we are suggesting the chairman of the commission with 2 deputies becomes the accounting officer. They are full-time commissions. We are suggesting that the commission be led by the chairman and the commissioners who are full-time and accountable. So the accounting officer of the Iebc should be the chairman of Iebc, so that we do not have a law whereby the resources are being accounted for by the secretariat and the commission is just there to oversee or to oversight. The responsibility of the commission to manage the elections in any country is very high. Therefore, I would suggest that we do not consider the commission like other parastatals or board of governors organizations. The Ghanaian model also, I would suggest, in the selection of the select committee that is going to be used to interview the commissioners, the Ghanaian model is also very good. I suggest that you can look at it. You don't have to adopt it, but you can adopt it according to what you want as a country to fit our country. I'm suggesting because the chairman of the Electoral Commission of Ghana is a former Chief Justice. Then they also have a former Chief of General Staff, a former IG of the police, and the other commissioners. But that team, in our country, I was also going to suggest that probably Council of Governors should be members of the select committee. You could have two people, one from the minority, one from the majority. These are our suggestions. It's for consideration. Finally, the distinction must be made where the law or the Constitution provides the mandatory function of the Commission. For instance, under Article 138, the commissioners have direct role in the verification, declaration of presidential results. In relation to such, the CEO, for example, last election, the CEO and Professor Gulier were the ones who were given the mandate by the chairman of Iebc to do the tallying. That information was not. That was not a delegated responsibility by the commissioners to the CEO. And it is an appointment that was made by Mr. Chebukati. I don't think that is within the law. So with those few remarks, I wish to ask my brother to take up the next part of presentation. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Commissioner Wanderi. May I add that the process of election